In this lesson of Sharh Kitab al-Da' wa-Dawa, the Shaykh Abd al-Razzaq al-Badr Hifidhahullah explains a special type of punishment mentioned by Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah. The decreed punishments that first strike the heart and soul before they appear on the body. The Shaykh reads that Ibn al-Qayyim divides these punishments into two main categories: those that affect the hearts and souls, and those that affect the bodies and wealth. For the heart, he mentions two forms. One form is inner pain and suffering that strike the heart. The other is cutting off the sources of life that normally feed and repair the heart. The Shaykh stresses that these inner punishments can be more severe than physical punishments. A punished heart may live in anxiety, fear, confusion, and emptiness, even while the person has comfort and means in this world. He finds no real peace, no taste in blessings, no true rest, and yet he does not always connect this to his sins. The Shaykh explains that these pains of the heart can take the form of repeated worries, heavy sadness, anxieties, obsessive thoughts, and fears without a clear cause. The chest feels tight, the person feels lost and disturbed, surrounded by outward blessings, but empty inside. Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah indicates that many of these states are actually consequences of accumulated sins that have darkened the heart. Then the Shaykh explains the second type of heart punishment. Allah cuts off the means of the heart's life. Normally the heart lives and grows through beneficial knowledge, listening to Quran, staying with righteous people, dhikr, dua, tawbah, and true self-accountability. But when sins pile up, the heart becomes disconnected from these sources. The person no longer feels the sweetness of Quran, is not moved by reminders, hears but does not benefit, prays without taste, and feels Iman as something cold and weak. The Shaykh reminds us of the verse, كَلَّا بَلْ رَانَ عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ مَا كَانُوا يَكْسِبُونَ, and the hadith where the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ says that each sin places a black dot on the heart. If the servant repents, the heart is polished and cleaned. If he continues, the blackness accumulates until it becomes a full covering, the ran, which blocks the light of guidance. Then the heart no longer clearly sees good as good and evil as evil, except according to its desires. The Shaykh emphasizes that often the person does not even realize that he is being punished. Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah compares him to a sleeping person, a drugged person, or a drunk person. He is being hurt but does not feel the pain until he wakes up. In the same way, many people live with a punished and sick heart, but they blame only their circumstances, other people, or the stress of life. And they never look back at their own sins. The Shaykh explains that these inner punishments do not stop at death. When the soul leaves the body, the effects of sins on the heart appear even more clearly, and this is part of what we call the punishment of the grave. The state of the heart in this life is like a preparation for what it will find in the barzakh. A heart used to being far from Allah, used to forgetting dhikr, and used to loving haram, already carries within it the material of that punishment. Then the Shaykh recalls the well-known hadith of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. There is a piece of flesh in the body. If it is sound, the whole body is sound, and if it is corrupt, the whole body is corrupt. It is the heart. From this, he explains that the happiness of the body and life, in this world, in the grave, and on the Day of Judgment, is directly connected to the health of the heart. And the misery of the body comes from the sickness of the heart. Finally, the Shaykh shows a great door of protection from these heart punishments: the du'as of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. He mentions especially the du'a that the Prophet taught Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu to say in the morning, evening, and before sleep. Allahumma fatir as-samawati wal-ard, alim al-ghaybi wal-shahada, rabba kulli shay'in wa malikuh. A'udhu bika min sharri nafsi, wa min sharri shaytani wa shirkihi, wa an aqtarifa ala nafsi su'an, aw ajarruhu ila muslim. The Shaykh explains that this du'a gathers the root of evil and its result. The root, the evil of the nafs and the evil of shaitan. The result, doing harm to oneself or causing harm to another Muslim. He connects this to the words of the Prophet in the Khutbat al-Hajjah. We seek refuge in Allah from the evil of our own souls and from the consequences of our deeds. The believer understands from this that real protection of the heart comes through tawbah, fighting the nafs, avoiding sins, and repeating these prophetic du'as with presence and sincerity.